All right, if you're a National 5 student, then you know all about the assignment. It's that one big project that stands apart from the final exam. And yet, it can seem pretty intimidating. So today, we're going to deconstruct it, piece by piece, and give you a super clear guide to absolutely nailing it.
So what's our game plan? Simple. First, we'll cover the absolute basics, the assignment in a nutshell. Then we'll talk about your research mission. After that, we'll get into the secret sauce, argument and evaluation. And finally, we'll walk through how you pull it all together for the final write-up. Let's do it.
Okay, first things first. Before you even think about picking a topic, let's get a handle on what this assignment actually is. What are the fundamental rules of the game?
Right, let's start with the most important number. Why does this assignment matter so much? Because it's worth a massive 20% of your final grade. Seriously, that's a huge chunk. So putting in the effort here can really pay off and give your final result a major boost.
And what's the end goal? Well, you're building a detailed, well-argued essay. The target word count is somewhere between 800 and 1,000 words. That's the sweet spot to show off all your hard work and sharp analysis.
The whole thing is neatly split into two distinct stages. You've got the research stage, that's when you're gathering all your intel, and then you've got the production stage. That's when you actually write the thing under exam conditions. Let's kick off with stage 1.
And here we are, stage 1. Your research mission. This is all about becoming a detective. You're out there gathering clues, finding evidence, and building a really solid foundation for the case you're going to make later on.
So where do you start? With a question. But not just any question, one that you actually find interesting. You know, it could be a moral dilemma like the ethics of nuclear weapons, or a big philosophical question like, does God exist? Honestly, picking something you're genuinely curious about is the key, because it makes the whole thing feel way less like work.
Once you've got your question, it's time to hunt for sources. You need at least 6 different ones, and variety is your best friend here. We're talking a good mix: religious texts, official websites from organizations, solid news articles, maybe even a relevant TED Talk. Quality and variety, that's what you're aiming for.
Now, there is one source that is a huge no-go, a big red flag. You absolutely must not use Wikipedia as a cited source. Look, it's fine for getting a general idea when you're starting out, but when it comes to your actual assignment, it is strictly off-limits.
And listen, it's not just about finding 6 sources that all say the same thing. That's boring. The real goal here is to create a debate. You need to find sources that argue for one side and sources that argue for the other. This whole on the one hand but on the other hand structure is exactly what's going to make your argument feel balanced and super strong.
Okay, let's get into the bit that really truly separates a good assignment from a great one. This is the game changer. It's not just about what you know. It's about how you think about what you know. Let's talk about evaluation.
So, what on earth is evaluation? Well, it's about putting on your judge's wig. You're not just a reporter summarizing an argument. You are there to analyze it, to weigh its quality, and this is the crucial part, to explain why you think it's a strong or weak point. You've got to give your reasons.
Let's make this super simple with an example. Oranges. On the left, you've just got 2 different opinions. Lynn loves them, Elaine hates them. That's just reporting. But look at the right. That is evaluation. It's digging deeper and judging the quality of Lynn's argument, pointing out that, hey, her view is just subjective. It's not a hard fact. See the difference?
Now, let's level up and apply this to a proper topic. On the left, again, just 2 opposing views on God's existence. But on the right, that's where the magic happens. It's a proper evaluation that challenges the very foundation of the argument, questioning that whole seeing is believing idea. That is top-tier analysis right there.
And that brings us to stage 2, the final write-up. You've done all the digging, you get what evaluation is all about. Now it's time to bring everything home, and you've got to do it under exam conditions.
So, think about it. You spent around 8 hours researching, finding sources, pulling out arguments, planning everything. And it all comes down to this: 1 single hour, in a classroom, under exam conditions, to get it all down on paper. The pressure is on. And here is the crucial twist. You can't just bring in your giant folder of research. No way. You are limited to 1 single-sided A4 resource sheet. And on that sheet, you can have a maximum of 200 words. That is it. Not a lot to work with.
So you've got to be strategic with those 200 words, right? What can you cram in there? Well,
You've got options. A mind map can work, or maybe some killer quotes to jog your memory. Bullet point headings are great too. Basically, this sheet is your personal survival kit for that hour, so you've got to make every single word count. And here it is, the final, most important thing to remember. That resource sheet isn't for you to copy from. It's a prompt. It's a springboard. What the markers really want to see is you taking that evidence and using it to build your own amazing arguments and, most critically, show off your own powerful evaluation skills. It's not about the facts you have written down. It's all about what you do with them.